Alright, everybody out there in the Craft Chest Nation, it is I, Craft Chest, here with a vlog, and this right here is not scripted, just, as usual. It's not scripted. All I did was fire up XSplit, put on my local record, and here we go, because talking to a lot of people in Discord on several channels, and watching the Twitter feeds and the Facebook feeds and all this, there's a lot of displeased folks out there that own No Man's Sky that I think might not own it tomorrow. Because looking at all this, it's like, whoa, crash. Non-optimization. Do I run vsync? Do I not run vsync? What's FXA, FFA, SSAA analyzing and all this good stuff? People just aren't understanding it. And rather than Google it, they fiddle around and crash the game. And quite honestly, I don't think this game is actually ready for launch. And before we go any further, this vlog is going to go all over the place. So just strap in and let's go. We're going to be making fun of games. We're going to be talking about XSplit recording, because that seems to be a big overlooked subject out there that a lot of people don't realize you can do, is local recording like I'm doing right now to create content and have scene transitions. And I've done this for years, all the way back to the Mogulus days whenever the live stream broadcaster came out. They were the first ones that actually came out with a multifunction, like I can go over to PC 1, I can go over to PC 2, I can go to, different screenshots like this and presentations and actually make a very, very professional video if I wanted to. But normally we just do it Craft Chest style. Everybody knows out there, we don't do this scripted because I keep it real. I keeps it real, yo. So let's just do that. And that's what we're going to talk about. And I want to touch briefly on streamers out there trying to be, over quality. You're stepping over your bounds of quality as far as streaming to Twitch, and you just can't do that. But I want to talk about that last, because right now what I want to talk about is this Kool-Aid, once again, that's been distributed to all you peoples out there when it comes to a game, and the game is No Man's Sky. And just like a couple of years ago, whenever I talked about this, whenever WildStar, remember, how long has that been now? 2-3 years since WildStar was announced, and then a year later it was like released, and they had the beta and all this other stuff. Then it went, subscription mode, then it went buy to play, and then it went free to play, and then it ended up on Steam. And what brings that to mind is I saw like MMORPGs or something like that out there tweet out that a huge patch was coming to WildStar for quality of life changes to try to get the community to come back to play the game. And in my opinion, that's the last-ditch effort in a game to actually have people come play it. It's not a good sign whenever you're trying to make quality of life changes 3 years after the game has gone from subscription to free-to-play version, especially when it ends up on Steam, because that's usually the last stop before server shutdowns, unfortunately. And hopefully it doesn't happen to them, because from what I've seen, it's a fun game. But it wasn't a game that I was interested in, and which the format. And then once I started watching people play it, it's like, no, it's not my type of MMO or whatever. It just wasn't. It just never has been. I'd rather go back and play Blade and Soul, actually, rather than WildStar. Which there's another game that we could talk about. Blade and Soul, all this hype and press about, Korean version versus, the Western version. And the Korean version is completely different, just from what I've played, from what I've seen from the American version, or Western version, I should say. It's just crazy how those games morph and change from, that sector to this sector of gaming. It's crazy. And then today with No Man's Sky, what was it, a few days ago, it launched on consoles, PS4, that's where I saw everybody playing it on. Watched a few streams on there, Dan's Gaming, and a few other people that were playing it on console. Who else played on it? There was a couple of people I follow was playing it on console, and it seemed to run fine. A lot of people out there were saying, I don't understand what's going on. A lot of people were saying, what's up with the inventory? How come I can only carry 3 things at a time and have to travel 20 parsecs back to my ship? And then, oh wait, my ship doesn't have room either. What the fuck? And it's just like, I'm watching this, I'm going, hell no, I ain't doing that. Because I can see it now. Microtransactions for inventory increase coming soon to a theater near you. And I'm like, nope, not going to do it. So that right there in itself, after watching the release, just told me, nah, anytime you have inventory issues, I can see what's coming. Maybe not, since it was a $60 game. And let's talk about No Man's Sky for a minute. Remember about a year ago, I think it was a little over a year ago, E3, whenever it was announced, and there was another big thing, was it, Penny Arcade, and then, what is it, PAX West, and PAX this, and that, and the other, where all this hype was built up around No Man's Sky and how it was going to be the be-all, end-all of space sims because it had planetary landing and life forms that you could discover. Sounds good, right? Well, whenever I saw this, I was like, wait a minute, this seems like a little bit of a stretch. Because let's think about not the issues, but how hard it was for Elite Dangerous to get their space sim have it released the way that it has been released and the quality in which we get with that. And they just gave us planetary landings earlier this year. Now, granted, there's not a whole lot that you see. There's not really life forms per se. There's like star bases and this and that and the other ports. There's different little things that you can do. You can make your own like mini game in the game, racing your dune buggies and all that good stuff out there, and having canyon races and all this other good stuff that you can come up with the newest content. And I haven't really kept up with Elite Dangerous like I should, because yes, I know it's been a little while since I've played, at least 4 to 5 months since I've played Elite Dangerous, because switching over to the new PC, I don't have a mixer, so I don't have a mic, so I don't have my voice commands, and therefore I'm lazy and don't want to play the game. That's the only reason why I have not played Elite Dangerous. But Elite Dangerous got the space sim right. And if the peoples that were developing No Man's Sky could have gotten just a little bit of ideas from Elite Dangerous and put it in this game, other than the HUD display in your ship and a little bit of the battle and interdictions, there was some telltale signs saying, hey, I see what you did there. There was a few things, but as far as optimizing controls, optimizing inventories and such as that, I don't even see. Maybe you can. There's probably upgrades for your inventory, or you have to go buy bigger ships, is probably what the gimmick is in this game. And in order to do that, you have to get credits and this and that and the other. I see where you're going with it. It's a good concept, but I don't see where it's going to be a game for everybody. And after watching streams today, right at launch and all the way up until right before I fired up this XSplit recording here, excuse me, people have been having crash issues, optimization issues. They can't get their graphic settings right. Hell, 99% of them don't know what graphic settings to even be on. You got people with 2 PC setups. I don't even think that is even in anybody's thought pattern when it comes to gaming, but it makes a difference whether your VSync is on or whether the VSync is off, whether you're using a controller or whether you're using mouse and keyboard. All these things matter. And in the game development world, it seems like we overlook this, or we're just too lazy or don't want to put in that extra effort, or I don't know what it is. It can't be the funds. I mean, oh my God, look at Star Citizen. How many billions of dollars that game? I'm saying billions. I'm being facetious when I say that. But I mean, it can't be the fundage on it with all the backers of these game developers these days. But it just seems like you would take a little bit more time to make those quality of life changes, because those are quality of life changes as far as being able to understand. Or even, here's a nominal idea. Lots of games out there, even 5-6 years ago, had something called auto detect feature. Hey, you have this hardware, therefore we think you need to be on this setting. And it's not really that hard. You can pick that coding up probably for free, just looking in some of the, the file sheets or whatever of other games and what have you. But that's neither here nor there. But I believe that No Man's Sky was released way before it's ready. And even though they pushed back the release on No Man's Sky, I think y'all going to have a No Man's refund coming up real soon, very quickly and in a hurry, if y'all don't get y'all shit together real quick. Because you don't launch a game, especially with PC gamers. You don't launch a game and then a few hours in, not have a hot fix, but a major patch. Like you just put this major patch together, like, if you could do this to fix issues with a game that fast, then you knew that there was going to be an issue with the porting from console to PC and all these other things that are happening. Or you had, a contingency plan if this happens to do this. But it just seems like to me that you would implement all of those and say, hey, if we don't need them, first patch, we'll calm it back and see what's what. Because PC gamers, man, we don't have time to be bothered. And it won't take but a couple of days for that to go from, where is it now? It says there's 140,000 people watching it. It won't take but a couple of days, if not tomorrow, for League of Legends to not be number 3 but number 2 again. Because you got Dota, you got No Man's Sky, and League of Legends. And I'm kind of surprised those people over here haven't kicked in their, 25 PCs in their house to actually beat No Man's Sky on that. But it's just amazing to me. And let's see, let me refresh the page because it's been a good hot minute. It might be done drop. Yep. It's already dropped down from 140,000 to 118,000 people. So that's how fast gamers, especially on PC platform, we can't be bothered with bullshit. The game has to be ready. The game has to be polished. All right? At least 90% polished. Okay? If it's not, people are going to move on very quickly, and Steam is going to be inundated with refunds, and GameStop, I'm sure, is going to be inundated with refunds and exchanges and swap outs and whatever they're going to do, because, just can't be bothered with that shit. And then we'll go back to playing Doom and H1Z1 and all the other fun games that we play. Riders of Icarus, Terra, all of them that we know work. All right, so just keep that in mind, developers out there. And yeah, I'm up here, I'm looking through the window because I don't own the game. I don't own it, don't plan to own it, not interested. Because the storybook art, in my opinion, just looking at that, I was like, oh man, that I could see, I saw issues with that type of art. And I'm not an expert, by no means, but I see different artworks. Like, they're trying to put, like, Legend of Zelda meets Borderlands meets Elite Dangerous, in my opinion, is what that looks like. I don't know how to exactly put my finger on that artwork, but that's what it kind of reminds me of. I just kind of like in my mind go, well, that reminds me of this, this, and this. As far as a game, I see what they're doing. Hey, that sounds pretty fun. Or, man, pack that. All right. But I'm done. Bottom line is this, as far as games, not just No Man's Sky, but so many games out there. Folks, be careful with pre-releases. Be careful when it comes to games that have this big boast about how awesome they're going to be, and all the pre-orders that you do, and all the, I don't know how to put it, but we have to, as the gaming community, we have to make a stand as far as telling these developers, don't release shit. I guess that's what I'm actually getting at. Don't give us shit and then smooth the shit over with a trial and then smooth more shit over the top of it until you end up with a polished turd. Okay, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And yes, you can polish a turd because they did it on Mythbusters. What? That's right. And then you just end up with a polished turd. All right, so we as gamers have to stand up for this and say, hey, you're having a delay on this. Why are you having a delay? Exactly what's the reason? And make these gaming developers tell us, well, we're having a problem with porting, we're having a problem with graphics. Make them tell us, hey, if you need extra time, take your time, because I don't have time to be bothered. And I've said this before in several vlogs and lots of streams. I don't have the means to make it rain $60 every time you promise us an awesome game. And this is one of those times where I just about picked up that cup. I had the Kool-Aid in my hands, and I was like, I guess I'll give it a try. And I was like, nope, I ain't doing it. I'm not going to do it. I got other things I can do with $60. Man, that's a hard drive, man. That's RAM, which I don't need any of that. That's $60 closer to getting the RX 470, because I want to try one of those out, or RX 460. The list goes on. That's $60 I could be buying, download content for Doom, because I know that's an awesome game, That's credits towards, or EMP and Terra, games that I know work. And there's several other games. Oh, Deus Ex, or Deus. I know it's Deus Ex, but I always call it Deus Ex. That's a me and Gunto thing. Actually, that game right there, I may be wrong, but that actually looks good. That looks good. I think I might get Deus Ex. Oh, matter of fact, look at this. Look at this. Matter of fact, speaking of the devil, look at this. Here's a post about it right here. That looks like one. Oh, wait, no, is that? Oh, but no. What drivers? That's... No, everything's fine. Update your drivers. Huh. Total biscuit. At least that man keeps it real. I do have to give him that. I don't really follow him that much, but there you go. Next subject. Let's move on because I'm tired of making fun of the games. You guys get the idea, and I know you feel the same way about it. All right, and it's not an AMD thing, a Radeon. It's not an NVIDIA thing. It's like this game right here. They're trying to blame it on your drivers, motherfuckers. I just watched the dude that has the Devil's Canyon RX 480 that just came out, and he has the 16.8 drivers. So, yeah, those just came out like 2 days ago. I know because I have the same drivers. So you can't blame it on your drivers. Come on. Come on. Come on, No Man's Sky. Come on. That's an excuse that you could use back in 2009, not 2016. Come on. Moving on. This video brought to you by XSplit, which I'll never get watched or sponsored by or anything else, just simply because I tell it like it is. And that's why a lot of people don't like my videos, and a lot of people love my videos because of that fact, because we keep it real. We keeps it real, yo. But anyway, let's talk about XSplit a little bit. And let's go over here and actually show you what's going on. Y'all can see the heads up right here on XSplit. And right here, let's do a drop down. I don't know if it blurs these out or whatever, but you know, you have some really simple functions that go on here in XSplit. And this one right here, local recording, is what I use a lot of, especially when it comes to vlogs, because I can transition from game to camera, from camera to splash screen. Here's my welcome screen to my streams and what have you. And you could actually do a very professional transition from one scene to another, and then simply delete those scenes or save them. I think there is actually a save option in here now, to where you can actually save something to a favorite and then bring it up later. There's a new presentation thing. They actually released a video earlier today talking about this, and I just liked it, and I didn't watch it. I liked it and retweeted it because a lot of people don't realize that you can local record off stream with XSplit, because I know that 99% of the population out there, all of you have the OBS going on, OBS Studios. Yeah, it's free software, whatever. And a lot of people complain about XSplit being a pay version and not being able to get it to work with your PC, which I don't understand that. The first few times that you use it, I remember way back there was issues, and even whenever they have some major patches like they have, I don't know what version this is, but let's just say this is version 7 or whatever. I can remember back, version 4 or version 3, because I've been using XSplit since beta, since like it was a concept. Like, that's how long I've been using XSplit. Even before they had local record on it. You actually, like, was there a time? Yeah, I think there was a time where you didn't even have local record on this. So, yeah, that's a long time, y'all. That's been a while, a hot minute. But you can use local recording to do presentations. Plus, it doesn't use 4, 5, 10, 15 gig. Because I saw people getting raw footage of a certain game that I can't talk about right now that I'm involved in pre-alpha testing in. And people were talking about their raw footage being captured by other software was like 6 gigs and 10 gigs. I'm like, my God. I was like, what are you using? Like Fraps or something? What is that? And they said they were using something else. But I was like, why don't you just use XSplit? Because a video like this, right now, I'm at 154, just now hit 155 megabytes. Okay, and I've been recording this video for how long now? I don't know how many minutes it is, because I really don't know. I think it's been like 15 minutes now. And you can record a lot of footage for not a lot of space on your drive, plus have the transition options for different scenes. And that's the neat thing about XSplit that I really, really like and enjoy, is that's very simple. Plus, like if I want to mute the mic, say whatever you want, because you can mute the mic. There you go. There's a little example. Hope you didn't read my lips, because I really didn't mean it. I was just giving you an example. You can have your volume controls. You can use this mic here. I can use a mic on the other PC. It's just different things. I use, it's very simple to set up your AverMedia. Matter of fact, let's go back over to this one, and I'll show you as far as this one. Yeah, here we go. It's very simple to set up AverMedia. I'll show you right here. XSplit actually has an auto configuration built in, and this is the setting that you would actually use for a 2-PC setup. As you can see, top to bottom for the audio inputs and all that you have going on. This is actually what you need to do. You can keep it in the source memory and all that. And yes, I have it at 30 frames a second for a reason. And that's going to pretty much take us into, if I can get over here to my camera. Where's my camera? Wait, what? Oh, here we go. Derp, derp, derp. I scrolled down. I don't know why I scrolled down. I guess I did that. Let's talk about streaming, because we've talked about a bunch of stuff. So for local recording, for making vlogs, for making game vlogs off stream, XSplit. Most convenient software that you can use for not a lot of space on your computer. Now let's talk about streaming. Now here's something that a lot of people out there are going to disagree with, but you can't disagree with because I've done the research on it, not once, not twice, but about 20 or 30 times, just to prove a point to myself, first of all, to make sure I didn't miss something. But I didn't realize that, there was a lot of people out there that thought that HTML5 was a thing on Twitch to where you could stream 60 frames a second now as a non-partner. You can't, okay? You can very well set your streaming software, such as XSplit, OBS Studio, XSplit, Pro, like I'm using right here. You can set it up to stream at 60 frames. All right, it's only going to allow you to stream what your hardware is capable of. Like mine, over here on the i5, I could set up 1080p, but it would be kind of redundant to do so because I wouldn't actually get that encoding to source over to Twitch. And there was a guy the other day, and I don't mean nothing by this, first of all. If you watch my video, dude, please don't take offense to what I'm about to say, but I'm just telling you up front and everybody else out there, you cannot stream at 3,000 megabits a second, or kilobits, or whatever you want to say. You know what I'm talking about. Your upload to Twitch cannot be 3,000 at 60 frames a second. Even if you have source options, you're fucking half your community. Because we're having to lower our quality just to tune you in. Now, me personally, I don't, because I have Godspeed. I have like 165 download and 6 point something up, so I'm good to go. I won't have that problem unless Twitch is being Twitch. But I will still buffer, because on your end, hitting the ingest servers, getting to your channel, and then getting to me, it'll still hit that buffer, especially when Twitch is being Twitch. Even with source options, you do not get encoding options. You are a non-partner. And this is not for one particular person. I'm telling this for everybody out there that thinks you can do it. You can very well stream. If you have the i7 God chip, and let's go back over here, you can very well change this setting to 60 frames a second, and that's fine. Go for it. But I'm telling you, on the other end, you can jack that speed up to 6,000 kilobits a second if you want to. The people watching you, okay, depending on whether you're a partner or not, are not going to see that. Even with source options, okay? The source options, all it does is capture what you're seeing, but not what's being encoded. Does that make sense? It's not going to encode it properly. And I'm not going to beat a dead horse, but you can't do it. You can set it up. It's just not going to work. All right? Because you're going to be screwing your community out of actually being able to watch your stream, because we're having to lower our quality to watch you. And there's somebody that tried to rationalize that to me. And I tried to talk to him. I was like, well, dude, you why are you trying to do that? Because you can't stream at 3,000 kilobits a second, and have 60 frames a second, and then sit there and ask us how the stream looks whenever I'm having to drop it to low quality to watch you. Well, I have source options. Exactly. So why don't you source it to where all of us can watch it, 720p, 30 frames a second. That's all we're going to see. You're not a partner. I know you want to be. I know you have high hopes. And I know that pie is right there just out of your reach. but you're not a partner, and you cannot stream at 60 frames a second at 3,000 kilobits a second. It's not going to work for us. You're fucking your viewers, basically, is what you're doing, just to put it very bluntly, because you're defeating the purpose. And he tried to rationalize this. Well, I did this, I did that, I saw this guy do it. He did it. He did it. Why can't I do it? Because you're not a partner. Well, he's not a partner. Just telling you, dude, you can't do it. All right? Because if I have to drop from source to medium or low, then your quality just got worse than it was. 720p, 30 frames a second, streaming at where you should be as a non-partner, between 24, and actually some people go way lower than that. I've seen people go as low as 800. But even Twitch tells you 800 to 2500 max. Actually, I think they tell you 2350. Me, I stream at 2400, period. Sometimes I'll drop it down because I have some people that come in that are regulars that come in, and I'll drop the bit rate for them because they live at a place that's not optimal. And I don't get source options because I don't, get 50 and 60 viewers constantly. Every now and again I'll spike up there, but I don't always get source options. All right, but even with source options, my point being is that you're screwing your community because we're having to drop our bit rate with high, medium, low, mobile to be able to watch your stream. And I'm not talking about me personally, but you got to think about, it's not all about me, it's not all about you, it's not all about your internet. Dude, you got people out there that's still on DSL. You still got people out there, believe it or not, that's on fucking dial-up. Believe that or not. And especially people out there with AT&T service, that like dish bundle shit that they got, where they're getting like 3 megs a second download, or 3 meg download speed, 0.78 up or something, where they can't even hardly watch a YouTube video, let alone watch a stream at 3,000 kbh or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. You know the fancy terms. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But you can't do it. Don't do it. It defeats the purpose of quality. All right? And I'll show you what I have. Let's go to me XSplit settings. Make sure my key is not showing, and we'll show you right over here. Actually, we won't, because let me go over here. Let's have a look at my output. My output over here is as such. If it'll show up. I don't know if it'll show up, but I'll read it over. It's going to 12 power gaming. I usually use either ingest server, Miami or New York. Right now it's set on Ashburn for some reason. I think I was doing a test on that. 2400 kilobits a second. Keyframe at 2, very fast preset. And like I said, I could very well jack this up to 1080p if I wanted to, but I'm not going to, because everybody that comes to my stream tells me how gorgeous it is at my current settings, even running like the last couple of games that I played. Riders of Icarus, beautiful game, 60 plus frames a second, actually 100 plus frames a second in that game. Doom, DirectX 12 using the Vulkan server, that game right there was running 60 plus constantly. And I just did a test on H1Z1 a little while ago with a 1350 render on that one, and was getting anywhere, it fluctuated, but it was getting anywhere from 63 to 87, which is about right for their game and my setup. All right, that's not bad for a 1350 render, and I could very well drop that to 1000 render, and it'd probably raise it up a heck of a lot, up upwards of 100 or so on that. I think we've done that before, didn't we? Already do? Yeah, we did that test whenever I first got this card. We already did that, and it was getting like 87 to 110 or something like that. Yeah, that's right. We already did that test. So, I mean, there's different, depends on your settings. And going back to the streaming part of it, don't think that your higher bit rate, 60 frames a second, means quality, because it doesn't. Okay? That's the bottom line. What you're doing is you're putting a bind on the people that might want to watch your stream, but they're sitting there, and this is what they're seeing on their screen. Buffer, 5 seconds of gameplay, buffer, 5 seconds of gameplay. And the people that have the patience for that shit, God bless you, because I couldn't do it. I give that about a minute and I'm out. All right, and that's all I'm saying. That's what you're doing to people whenever you're doing that. non-partners, and even partners out there. A lot of people don't even stream above 2800 because of that reason. Just because you're a partner, just because you have the speed to do so and the hardware to do so, doesn't mean you have to have Jesus speed streaming. That doesn't mean quality. It doesn't equal quality. All right, so just keep that in mind in the future when it comes to streaming to YouTube, streaming to Twitch, streaming to, what is that other one I always forget? Hitbox. Hitbox. I don't know why I always forget that name. I've streamed there several times. But that's it. And I'm done with my ramble. All right, if you're still here at the end of this, might as well hit that like button. Might as well hit the subscribe too, wherever it's at down here, over there, or yonder. Because it is a craft of the mind. Go out there and have some fun. And if I did make sense on a lot of that, like I said, I don't do scripted videos. Some of them I do, some of them I'll do takes on. But this was just one of those, let's make a video. It's been a little while. We got to do it.